All right, hey guys, it is Sunday night. It is already October 27th, and I have a million things on my brain, which I bet you guys do too. Um, Tonight, we're going to do our regular planning like normal. So hopefully you have your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in front of you. While I'm talking, feel free to make notes, feel free to whatever it is you got to get done. But hopefully I can throw some ideas out for you guys. I see you, Lisa. You keep going, girl. Um, Hopefully I can throw out some ideas for you guys because this is such an exciting time every single month. It's when one month is starting to come to an end and then a new month is on the horizon. And so as exciting as it can be, it can sometimes also be overwhelming. So I want to try to break down some of that for you guys today. And so with that, we're going to get started. So this is going to take us from the 28th through the 3rd. So basically, one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about is the fact that you have a holiday coming up that is one that is super exhausting for moms, right? Anybody out there ever had a kid do trick or treat? There's costumes, there's meltdowns, the whole 9 yards. There's candy out the yin yang, which if you are someone and you are trying to lose weight, this is a very hard time because there's a lot of candy floating around you. So when you are thinking about your reach outs this week, you can use some of that Halloween trick or treat as an excuse for some of your reach outs, or even as not an excuse, but a theme for some of your social media posts. So keep that in mind that that's what's happening this week. Lots of kids are going for school parties. Lots of kids, you have, costumes, maybe more than one costume. We've got some people who are going to have candy in the house that they need to learn how to resist the candy. And you guys all know that our product is really good at helping cut the cravings for people. So just little things like that. Try to think outside of the box, try to use the holiday, and then also the upcoming holidays, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So the other thing I want to make sure before we get started is that everyone on here, if you have not yet seen or shared the Zoom that was done on October 22nd by Jennifer Zand in regards to Sculpt. She did a Zoom where she got together, I forget now, 6 or 9, something like that, people who beta tested Sculpt, and they got out there and they talked about their experience. You have a brand new product in your hand. It is live. It can be ordered. It is ready to go. Even if you tested it and you loved it, I still encourage you to share that video. Whether you just share it like as a watch party, or maybe you send it directly to somebody, because she did make it public, so you can do that. Anytime you say you did something and you liked it, that's great. But when they can hear it from other people, that's super important. So make sure you're reaching out to everybody about Sculpt. So when you're going through your reach outs this week, when you're thinking of what customers to contact, what follow-ups to do with people, try to wrap your brain around the fact that you do have Sculpt now in your back pocket. And you have that video of it's a good testimonial video with tons of people that are talking about how great they felt with Sculpt. So let's kind of dive into, as always, you always have your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Every single day, hell or high water. I don't care what day of the month it is. You've got your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On top of that, this week, you've got the end of the month. So you got to be focused on the end of the month. Now I have a chart that I send out to my team every end of the month, and I'm just going to go over it with you really quick, and I will actually try to put the chart in the comments of this video once I post it. But you want to make sure that this is for you and every single person on your team, okay? You want to make sure you have a PV of 100 or more. If your personal volume is not at 100 or more, you will not get commission next month. So if you've worked this month and you'd like to get commission, which I'm sure we all would, make sure your personal volume, your PV, is 100 or more. You can go into your reports. You can even click on the PV at the very top. It'll put everybody in order of what their PV is. If you see someone on your team that does not have 100 yet, reach out to them. Do you have any waiting room volume? If you have any volume sitting in your waiting room, actually, let me rephrase this. If you have a name sitting in your waiting room, because maybe they had volume last month, but you didn't move them, and they don't have volume this month, you still have a name in your waiting room, you do not want to let that sit there. There is the possibility, if you're brand new, your upline may tell you, yes, go ahead and let them just automatically roll over to a level 1. If you do not understand waiting room, you absolutely must reach out to your upline. If it's me, reach out to me. You can hit ranks based on your waiting room volume. I just had a conversation with a girl yesterday who is, she's not actually on my team, but she thought she had a red leg, but she also had a ton of volume in her waiting room. She did not understand that she could move that around and get rid of that red leg. And so that's a huge, huge thing. She almost missed a big bonus. So if you don't understand what I'm saying when I say waiting room, it's okay that you don't understand, but you must reach out to your upline and find out, because your waiting room can help you tremendously. And waiting room shuts down the last day of the month, and it's based on promoter number. So don't wait until the last day of the month. You'll either get, you'll do it too late and you won't even be able to get in there, or it'll be so backed up, the computers go really, really slow. The cloud gets real slow at the end of the month. So dive into it tonight, tomorrow, you know, the sooner the better. On that thought, do you have your rank or your bonus qualification volume yet? For example, if you are trying to hit auto bonus, maybe you have 12K, that's only part of the bonus. You have to also have 4 active level 1 promoters. So go deep into your reports. Start looking at your little, I mean, they make it so easy. We have graphs with circles. Is your circle filled up? Is there something missing? And again, if you don't know what you need, or maybe something's missing, contact your upline. Do you know where your team is for the end of the month? So this is one that I don't want people spending all day today and tomorrow trying to find out where their individual team members are. However, sort your report, see who's close to 12K, see who's close to 4K, see who's getting close to hitting a rank, and then wrap your mind around those people, okay? Like focus. These last few days, you're still building your business, so just focus on the I don't know, the hot ones, you know, the ones that you need to maybe help. And then the final thing to always think about this last week, these last few days, are you and your thrivers, are you and your customers thriving for free? Sometimes as promoters, this actually slips past us because maybe we've had so many auto shippers and then maybe we weren't paying attention and somebody switched to promoter and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't have to, they went to promoter. So keep an eye on that. And then also with your customers. And you guys, I cannot tell you, I think I talked about it last week, that new auto ship report in our back office, best thing ever. It's so good. So you can actually just go at the very top, like it says name and all that stuff, click where it says next auto ship, click it twice and it'll put it in order for you. And you can see who's coming up. That'll help you for sure know when if you have your 2 or not, but also it's a great way for you to dive in and say, oh, hey, Sally, I always pick on Sally. Hey, Sally, I see you have an auto ship coming out next month. Let's make sure you have 2 customers will place an order under you. So use those reports to your advantage. They are incredibly helpful. And you guys, this is also the time of the month where I always tell people, number 1, do not give up on your business where you are. Yes, it's the 27th. Yes, we've only got a few days left. Yes, if you're a mom with kids of trick-or-treat age, you're probably already pulling your hair out and you're like, I can't do anything else. Yeah, you can. You got 4 days left. You got 4 solid, is that right? Am I doing my math right? 1, 2, yeah, you got 4 solid days left of October plus tonight. Leave no stone unturned. Look at your shelf. I mean, look like you guys could probably tell me this over the month. You'll see I start with more stuff on my shelf in the month than I do at the end. So pickings are getting slim back here, but I got pickings, right? If you have anything in your possession, I don't care if you have an open pack of DFT, whatever you are holding in your possession is for you to use with your business. Invest it into your business. So if you could say to somebody, hey, if you placed a new customer order tonight, let's say they place an order with just regular DFT and you happen to have an open black label, you can say, I'll send you a whole week of black label, in your 4th week, so you can try something different. Use what you have on hand. I am a huge fan of Blast and a huge fan of Cafe because these things pop in an envelope really well. And I went through and started sending out some, it's been a blast being your promoter, or it's a blast having you as a new customer. Or for people I know that have done that before, I've got Cafe. Now that it's turning cold, coffee lovers like, I don't know, I'm not a coffee lover, but I just make something up. Just something about Cafe and you can put it in there. And also, you guys, we still have the breast cancer DFTs. I went through my customer list. Anybody that placed an auto ship the last 2 months, I pulled off, I think it was either 3 ultras or 4 black labels, whatever it was that fit in my little note cards. And I just told them I ordered extra of these because the money goes to a great cause. I think they're so cute and pretty. Try them for a few days. And I actually had a lady who really loved the black label version of the breast cancer, and she's switching that on her next order. It's not something she ever would have tried, but it was cute, and I mailed her a few of them, and so it behooved me to send her those. Anything you can do to thank people, anything you can do to add to an order. Something I always kind of get a kickback every now and then when people say, I don't have any product, I don't have any credits to use. You guys have a business, and sometimes business does, they have to spend money. And I know no one likes to spend money, but you at any point in time can offer a rebate back to someone. So just do the math on the order, or do the math that you would have done. I will say, like, if, for example, I had nothing to give and I was going to give somebody a rebate on a brand new order, I would consider going ahead and purchasing let's say I was going to give them a $50 rebate. I would much rather see you go ahead and spend the $50 and order a DFT and then hand it to them, so that you actually have product that you have shared and you have purchased product, which means your volume goes up. But sometimes you just have to say, you know what, I'm offering a rebate on shipping. And so after their order ships, you send them a check in the mail for $12 or whatever it is. But don't ever think you don't have something to give, because you do. You've got something, and it's just a matter of figuring out what it is. Okay, so the reason I'm throwing all that out at you is because, again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got to reach out to 5 new people. Remember, on your reach outs, please, for the love of Pete, do not attack people with Thrive. Ask them how their weekend went. I myself just came back from a Super Bowl football 5th grade thing, and it was super fun. And I know there's a ton of parents who are doing the same thing this weekend. So, hey, Saul, little Bobby played in the Super Bowl game. Hope you guys had a blast. Super proud of him. Whatever it is, just make connections with these people. Now, in your follow-up category, who did you make connections with last week? Who did you talk to about little Bobby playing football last week? Those names should be on your paper from last week. Put those names into the follow-up category over here, and either continue the conversation, or if the time is right, or something has come up during the last week, maybe it's time to get their email. Maybe it's time to ask them I don't know, maybe it's somebody you don't know very well, or you haven't seen in a long time. How's work going, or what are you doing nowadays? Get them to ask you how's work going for you. But that's why I know a lot of people are like, oh, I struggle. Who am I going to follow up with? Everybody you've ever talked to. And anytime you talk to someone twice or more, that's the follow-up. So I always keep my old 54321s right here. And all I got to do is grab those and pull some names and just go from there. Adding to the lead list, obviously that's going to come out of those. Connecting with your leader, social media. I know we talked a lot last week. I think we talked a lot about social media posts. Something else to keep in mind this week, and it's something that people, pardon my language, bitch and moan about every single year, but daylight savings is going to happen this Sunday. So for those of you that are in states that daylight savings takes place and people start complaining about how the time change, but listen, I'll be the first one to tell you too. I do not like the short, dark days. So I would be the one you'd want to talk to. But you could reach out to people. Like, you're going to start seeing stuff on Facebook. Oh my gosh, the days are so much shorter. Oh my gosh, it's dark at 5 o'clock. And it does suck. Don't get me wrong. However, as a Thriver, you still feel pretty good, even though the day is a little bit shorter and a little bit darker. So when you start seeing those posts, that's basically that red flag. That's somebody saying, hey. Now, just because they said it gets dark early, blah, I hate winter, that doesn't mean I've got something that'll, fix that for you. Find the common ground. I mean, I could easily write back and be like, yeah, I totally hate these short days. I actually have battery operated candles that I got at Target that they come on every single night at 6 o'clock. So when I come in at night, it looks like I have something happening in my house. So just little things like that. And then, eventually the conversation can go. So again, I don't know, like, I'm just always trying to think of things that are going on that people can find common ground with. So like I said, trick or treat, Halloween, crazy situations, and then daylight savings. Everybody gets flustered at daylight savings. And I mean, especially around here, because it is already dark early and all that jazz. So that's your 54321 And like I said, this is crunch time, you guys. It's 4 days left of October. I want you to do your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 first thing in the morning when you get up. And then as soon as that's done, and you guys, seriously, you can sit on the toilet and you can shoot out messages. How was the football game? How did the wedding go? Blah, 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 blah. What your pumpkin carving looked amazing. Get 5 of those done before you can even think about it. And then you can start on your follow-ups. And it's during the follow-ups too that you're really going to have, maybe you talked to them 2 months ago about starting. Now's the time. I just sent a lady a message the other day because she had told me last month that she wanted to get started. And I was like, hey, I got 4 days left. I got free shakes. They're right there I'm really directionally challenged, but they're right back there. And I just shot it out. I've only got 4 days left to use them. If you want them, first come, first serve. So, go back to the follow-up so that you can really start following up with people this week that you can just dive right into it with, right? Like we've already got the relationship. We've already talked about it. Now I'm like diving in. Put a deadline on it. And I usually don't even like to give them until the 31st. I would rather cut them off on the 30th this month so that I know, because that last 24 hours can be crazy. So if you try to cut them off a day early, say my rebate, my free shakes, my whatever is going to end on the 30th, then you have some room on the 31st to, scramble if need be, because you can always extend it, right? Lavelle has taught us that a million times. You can always extend it by a day. So dive hard in these last 4 days. Now, saying all of that, you cannot take your eye off of November because it's coming. It's actually officially coming on Friday this week. So Friday, when you wake up, it will be a brand new month. You will have a big old fat goose egg in your cloud office. And the only thing that makes me feel okay about that on the first of every month is I also know, I don't know how long it lasts, maybe a minute or two, but I know at some point in time, Maria wakes up and there's actually a 0 in her cloud office too. I'm sure it goes fast, but it makes me feel good knowing that we all go back to 0. So what I want to talk on the last few minutes here before we get going is something that I started doing a few months back, and it is, it's not a mind-blowing technique by any means, but for some reason I wasn't doing it prior. But I participated in some sort of leader training, and Brittany Williams laid out how she takes her monthly calendar. And I know for Dream Team, I know we've talked about this before, so this might be a little repeat for you guys, but repeat's always good. She lays out her monthly calendar and puts all of the absolute, there are things that happen in your business every single month, no matter what. For example, the 2nd of every month is always free credit day. But it is really easy when life is happening and you're doing things and you're like this in November, it'll be on a Saturday. I know you'll be busy. It's really easy to get to the end of the day and totally forget that it was free credit day because you were just busy. So I actually go and I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I am super old school. I have one of those giant desktop thingies and I keep it right on my desk. It stays right here. My keyboard lays on it. My bills, everything I do happens right here in front of this calendar. So I'll just start with you. On the 2nd of every month, I make sure I write down free credit day. On the 5th, the 15th, and the 25th, I make sure I write auto ships. Yes, I know they happen on those days. Yes, I should always remember that. But there are some, how life goes. Some days you realize that the 5th, all of a sudden you wake up, it's the 6th. And you're like, oh my gosh, forgot it was the 5th. So write down your auto ship days. For me, for example, every Sunday I have my power planning session written down. Also for my team, I do a team training every Monday night, so I have those written down. We do a local every month. I've got the local written down. I personally launch some sort of promotion every Tuesday. Sometimes it's team-wide, sometimes it's for a specific group of people or a specific leg. But again, if I don't have that written down, I'm liable to forget it. On the Saturdays, at the end of the week, I write down, I take my overall goal. So let's say, for example, you want to be, let's say in November, you want to be 80K. So you would write down on the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. Those are the end of the weeks. You're going to break that down, 20K, 40K, 60K, 80K. Does it mean you're going to hit the number every single week at the same time? No, but you always have an idea of where you need to be to get to the goal you want. So if you're wanting to hit 4K, you need to have that first Saturday, well, not in November because it's only 2 days, but you know what I'm saying. You need to have $1,000 a week. So put on there, I'm looking at October. So October 5th, you would have needed $1,000. The 12th, you would have needed $2,000. I mean, you get it, like break down your goal. So you always have that number to look at. The other thing that I tend to do too, on my right hand, and it's just the way mine's laid out, so whatever works for you, but I actually have a list of, and I don't know, maybe I don't have to do this anymore, but I used to write down my auto ships and that, well, like, you know, who goes on the 5th. And I might still do it just because it's nice to see it, because pulling a report up is one thing, but like having it in front of me all the time is really good too. But it'd just be easier, I guess, to make my report now because I can actually find it. So I highly encourage you to get your monthly calendar set up now. Don't wait till the 1st of November. Don't even wait till the 31st, which you know none of you will because it's trick or treat. You'll be very busy. So do it now. Like, hopefully tonight we've started writing down some names for the 54321s, but definitely start looking at your monthly calendar. And here's something I'm going to throw out to you. If you have a team, like, you know, you have one or more promoters under you, you need to have minimum a group team message that you're checking in with your team, that you have that. Perhaps you have a team large enough that you have a team page. You need to have something on your calendar at least once a week where you are checking in with your team. So I have a team Zoom I do every single week. Let's back up and say maybe before the team got big enough to do that, I at least had a team email that group message that I sent out in my group message every single Monday night. Something where you consistently connect to your team. And again, some of you are going to go, yeah, I've got promoters, but they don't really work it. I don't care. I don't care if they're working it or not. You're working it, and it's your team. So you take the bull by the horns. You pick a day and a time, and you decide where you are. Is it going to be a weekly message that you send to your team? Is it going to be a weekly post that maybe you make in a team page? Maybe it's going to be your own team Zoom. Team Zooms are powerful because it's you and your team. You guys can actually sit and chit chat. You can ask questions. You can do shout outs. Does everyone show up, like face-wise show up for the team Zooms? No. Do I record them and share them and hope that everyone watches them? Yeah. Here's the thing though, because I hear this a lot from people. Only Sally and Bob come. Well, hello, Sally and Bob came. Put some energy into Sally and Bob. They're apparently working the business with you, right? So be there for the people who are there. Will your message or your post or your video go to some deaf ears? Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't matter. You got to remember, this is your team and your responsibility. So I highly encourage you to have at least once a week something set. And you can even say, let's say that every Wednesday you're going to send out some sort of health information for your team. Because remember, your team all got into Thrive because they wanted to feel better. So maybe for Wellness Wednesday, you send something just to your team. Here's why that's a benefit. Number one, you're connecting to your team. Number two, you're giving them some sort of information. Number three, they could literally copy and share that information in their Facebook post too. So maybe they don't have to work the business by even thinking of what to do. They could just be like, oh, Sandra sent me that thing Wednesday and that was really smart about how much water to drink. I'm just going to share that for my post today. I don't think you should do work for your team, but anytime you can make something easy and duplicatable, that's what we're here to do. The other thing I'm going to harp on really quickly, when you are looking at your monthly calendar, if you yourself are not hosting an event, are you at least attending an event? Right? And you're going to know, no, I'm not going to say that. Some of you are going to think that you don't need to host an event because you don't think that your team is big enough. Let me explain to you that has nothing to do with hosting an event. If you are a Thrive promoter and you are currently looking for new customers, that would probably be all of you, I would assume. You should be hosting an event. My first event, and I've told this story many, many times, so I'll keep it short. My first event was me, my husband, and some balloons. And that's all that happened that night. Nobody else came. But I had my boxes set up, I had my balloons, and I was ready, and nobody came. But I did not stop. I kept having my events. There was a short period of time in my promoter career where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Nobody's coming, or whatever pouty McPouty thing I was going through at the time. And let me tell you, on my team numbers, because you have to remember everything you do sets the example for your team. So I'm willing to blow up my balloons and stand there. And if people show up, great. If they don't, I did what I know to do. Same with your team message every week or your team Zoom every week. If you do what you know needs to be done and you can lead by example, eventually somebody, if not all of them, will follow you. And I think when you're looking at your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and you're so focused on your day-to-day business, sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, it's already the end of the month and I didn't reach out to my team and I didn't have an event. I'll get it next month, right? No, do it now. Look at your calendar now. Make sure, I'm going to go over this real quick again one more time. Make sure you have your auto ship days on there. Make sure you have your free credit day on there. That is important for a couple of reasons. Number one, you got people who just got free credits on that day. So you need to remind them that they got free credits on that day. Second reason is you got free credits that day. Maybe you can now help somebody order Thrive for $10 off or $50 off because you got free credits, right? So free credit day is super important. Auto ships are super important. Whatever kind of weekly situation you're going to do where you reach out to your team, and remember, if it's you plus one, that is a team. I hate when people are like, but I only have a couple of people. Well, those 2 people followed you, so support them. Be the team leader. We obviously have our power plans, and again, I like to do some sort of team promo once a week. And let me explain team promos really quick too, while we have a couple minutes. Not all promos will be amazing. There have been several promos in the last couple months where I'm like, hey, we get 10 people to play, you're going to get a blender bottle. And there's the blender bottle because I couldn't get 10 people to play. But that's okay. I still tried, right? I put it out there. I put it into my team, and if they want to play, they want to play. So here's the thing. They always know I'm here, right? I hope everyone on my team knows that. I'm always here. I'm trying. And if you're trying, I'm more than happy to do it with you. So could you put out a promo this week and maybe your team doesn't do anything? Absolutely. But somebody might, and it might be the order that brings in the person who brings in all these new people and suddenly hits VIP. You never know. So if you just do what you need to do, it will eventually happen. All right. So this was a kind of a big one because, again, I wanted to make sure we talked about planning for the week. Make sure you're doing your reach outs. Remember, you've got some good excuses this week to talk to people. Halloween, Sculpt, and Daylight Savings. This is also the time you want to leave no stone unturned. You want to dig through. If somebody placed an order last month and you don't see they placed one this month, be the big person and reach out and say, hey, I noticed that you don't have an order in for this month. We've only got 4 days left. What's going on? Did you not have a good experience, or is there something we need to change? Be the customer service that your person deserves. Be the promoter that they deserve. Find out what's going on and how you can help them. And like I said last week, if they say to you they don't have any money, respect that. It's okay. Maybe they don't have the 150. Maybe they've got 60. Maybe they could just get capsules for the month. Remind them that it's okay. If they can't get all 3, whatever they can do is better than nothing, right? Like if somebody said, oh, I can't have bread and peanut butter, but I'm going to starve, you would at least give them the bread, right? And hope whatever. So think about that. Like, be the customer service that your person deserves. Reach out for the thriving, people thriving for free. Make sure you got your PV. And again, I'm going to put these graphics in the bottom because I know it's a lot in a short period of time. And then before you let October end, make sure you are ready for November. Because you guys, I don't know about you, but November, December, April, right? I don't know. Something happens. Like it just basically tomorrow should just be Christmas. It'll go that quickly. So take a couple minutes tonight before you close your eyes and think about the month of November. And don't think about what somebody else wants you to do. Think about what you want to do. If you want to grow a team, start talking to your team on a consistent basis. If you want to add customers, start doing something where customers can come on a consistent basis. If having a local in a restaurant or something is not feasible, you can easily have a virtual local. There's not a single person on here who can tell me that they can't because you're on here with me tonight. So I know if you're on here with me tonight, you can have a local on the Facebook, on the interwebs, right? You got to do whatever it is that it's going to take to get you where you want to go. Don't wait on your upline. Don't wait on your downline. I hear all the time, my team this, my team that. Go get a new team. Don't ditch the people you have, but go get a new team, right? That's what your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is. It is a constant daily search for new people. Constant. But the thing you have to remember, every time you're trying to build and add to this list, There are no spare customers. You got to take care of the ones you have. Happy customers become happy promoters. And if they learn from you how to take care of a customer, then they too will start to have happy customers. All we do is copy, repeat, copy, repeat, copy, repeat. If you want people on your team to have locals, have a local. If you want your people on your team to start doing Zooms, make sure you're doing Zooms. I never ask my team to do something I'm not willing to do. They'll tell you that straight up. So anyway, with that, I feel like I've talked a really, 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 really long time. But hopefully this will help you get October closed out and get November started. And please remember, if any of you are watching this and you have waiting room volume, today, tonight, tomorrow morning is the time to deal with it. Don't wait till the last day of the month, okay? All right, anyway, I recorded this, so hopefully you guys can share it with your teams. Bye.